welcome back to my channel. And in this video, this is part 2 of me reading the most anticipated fantasy books in my TBR. I'm very excited for you guys. I read these back in March, so yeah. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. Okay, so they're in Trahir right now, and that's another island in the Entrium? Guys, I cannot pronounce it. I'm so sorry. So they've been there for 2 weeks already. That's cool. That they started out in Tala, right? Like, Tala's the main guys, I feel like I should have just looked at the map, but I didn't, and that's my problem. Riker is a good man. Riker's a good man. Riker is so funny. Wait, I feel like I missed a few things. What? There's a bunch of details that I missed that needed to be stated at the beginning. It's a dream. It's a dream, guys. I don't know about it. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't deal with this. I can't. Glossary, and I could have just gone back here and looked. Alright, now that I'm done, I'm gonna say it's a 4.5 star, mostly because my reactions to this were confusing. I was genuinely confused as to what the heck was happening, because there was a lot happening, and I feel like I couldn't focus on one thing. I had to really, go back and try to understand what was happening. And there's not really that much spice in this, which I like for a fantasy book. It's not really a romantasy. It's more of just a fantasy, because guess what? The main plot is not love. It was finding out who the enemies are, what they're up against, and just finding out more. Love was not the main goal in this, okay? Love was not the main goal. Trying to find out how to save the realms without, putting everyone she cares about in danger. That's what I thought of this. Part 1 and part 2, Aya and Will come back from the other kingdom after discovering that she's prophesied to save the realm, and now that she's back, she's trying. They're figuring out how to save their realm. Now they're going to war with another kingdom. So they're preparing for battle pretty much. That we're almost towards the end, and we have like part of the kingdom is under attack by Keikos, and they're just now telling Aya, "Hey, we're under attack. Will may or may not be in danger." Officially done with the Curse of Sins. If I were to rate this, it'd be a 4.5 star. Mostly because it's a little bit better than the Curse of Saints. As I've said before, there was a lot of plot twists, and there was a lot more detail, and I'm just happier with the outcome. So, in short words, obviously, Aya and Will in the last book, they were in another part of the in the other part of the realm. Read the Curse of Saints trilogy. I'm gonna go ahead and say you should, but the first book is a little bit confusing. But going back to this, so after Aya and Will go to the other realm to find information on the prophecy, they talked to the Queen of Tala, all of that, and she was acting the Queen of Tala was acting very sus, okay? I'm gonna put in short words. She was acting very sus, and, you know, Aya was catching on, and now they're at war. So that's it. That's all I have to say. This would have been the whole series probably would have been a 5-star. So, therefore, 4.5 stars. The characters were amazing. I love the fact that the big plot twist of all was amazing. And I would highly recommend everyone to read The Cursed Things, because it is good in my opinion. Some people may go like, oh, this is horrible. But everybody, to each their own. And, you know, I love it. I personally like it. And I personally think that some people may like this because not everyone talks about this book. But I am officially on part 4, which means we're almost done. So a little recap of part 3, right? A little recap. So Aya decided to make a decision, And she didn't really think this plan through, but she did at the same time. And getting attached to the side characters, because the side characters make me laugh so much. Like Cole, he makes me laugh. Okay? Cole's made me laugh more times than he should have. Riker was so funny. I cried. Because it's a big spoiler, so I can't really tell you guys what the spoiler is. Unless, you know, you're willing to not skip ahead if you already read this. But, Tyr is her wolf. And he was... We are finally done with The Curse of Gods. We're done with the entire trilogy as it is. We're done with the entire Curse of Saints trilogy. All I have to say is that I feel this was well done. I think I may have found my first favorite series of this year. But if I had to choose between the 3 books, my favorite, I'm gonna have to go with book 2. Okay? So overall, my rating for this book would be like 4.5 stars. After I said that I rated this 4.5 stars, I didn't tell you guys why. So the reason why I'm rating this book 4.5 stars is mainly because more action in this, obviously, and there's a lot more clues that we didn't get in book 2 that I literally, my jaw was like on the floor. But those, yeah, so yeah, there was a lot of things that I loved in this book, in this series, and the one thing I loved more than the action and the plot twists and the flashbacks was the fact that their bonding partner wasn't a dragon, or their bonding animal wasn't a dragon. It was a wolf. Like, that is amazing. Like, that's cool. Like, it's a fantasy world, and you know, fantasy always consists of wolves and stuff. And I am literally like... But the one thing I didn't like is the fact that these wolves didn't, like, telepathically talk to their bonded human. I want a wolf that talks, guys. I want a wolf that telepathically talks to the human, the main character. Excuse me? Like, I needed that. I needed that. But you know what? That was left out. I wanted to know these wolves' emotions. Because I got the narrator's perspective on every other character, but like, so if I had to rate this series, I'd give it a 4.5 star because of the difference and because of, you know, I did forget to mention that these books were in third person. I'm so sorry, guys. You guys are probably thinking it's in first person. No, it's in third. I loved all the characters. I loved Tova. I loved Will. I loved Aiden. I loved Josie. I loved Liam. Well, I hated Liam at first, guys. I hated Liam and Aiden at first. But we can never have a character that I hate, guys. Unless he's a villain that I love. Okay. But, you know, I loved all the characters. And I loved... See, because I don't know. I loved Lorna. Lorna was such a good example, but Lorna's such a good character. And would I highly recommend this to someone? if this was their first time reading fantasy and didn't want like a whole romance trilogy, I'd give them this one, because again, the whole plot is not romance based, which I like. I think I like fantasy books when it's not like fully romance based, and it makes me happy. I didn't realize that I liked books with a little less, more love and more action. Because again, it's a fantasy book. Yeah, I understand that it's gonna have romance, right? But again, it's not the main plot. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But yeah, that concludes the end of this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.